If you hear children laughing in the forest at dusk, do not go looking for them, because in Trinidad, some of those children are already dead, and the ones still walking through the trees have their feet on backward. Parents in Trinidad teach their children a rule before almost anything else. If the forest calls your name after sunset, do not answer, especially if the voice sounds familiar, especially if it sounds like another child, because the thing calling from the trees may not be alive anymore. They were children once, loved children, children with names, children who died too young and never found their way out of the forest. They are called the Douen, and they are still looking for someone to play with. This is the Caribbean Black Book. Listen carefully. The rules matter. The Douen come from Trinidadian folklore. The word itself traces back to West Africa, spirit child, and according to old Caribbean belief, that is exactly what they are. The spirits of children who died before they could fully enter the world, before baptism, before naming, before growing old enough to truly belong to the living. In the older Caribbean, children died often. Disease, fever, bad water, storm seasons. Many families buried children before they ever got the chance to become fully known. And according to the old stories, those children became trapped, half here, half somewhere else. Still wandering, still searching, still trying to go home. But there is something deeply wrong about the Douen. Something people notice immediately. Their feet face backward. So when they walk away from you, their footprints look like they are coming toward you. And if you try to follow them, you walk deeper into the forest, exactly where they want you. People who claim to have seen them describe the same details every time. Small children, 3 years old, maybe 4, barefoot, wide straw hats covering their faces, and underneath those hats, sometimes there is no face at all, no eyes, no nose, no mouth, just smooth skin where a child's face should be. And sometimes they whistle or laugh or softly call your name from somewhere deep in the trees, in the voice of someone you trust. In 1976, in the northern range mountains of Trinidad, a woman named Yvette put her 4-year-old son to bed just after sunset. His name was Daniel. Quiet child, loved animals, loved wandering outside. Around 7 that evening, she checked his room. The bed was empty. The window was open. Daniel was gone. She ran outside screaming his name. Neighbors came with flashlights, and together they searched the tree line behind the house. Then, about an hour into the search, Yvette heard him. "Mama, somewhere ahead in the forest. She started running toward the sound immediately. Every time she called his name, the voice answered back, "Mama, over here, I'm here." She kept pushing deeper through the trees, branches cutting against her skin, mud soaking through her shoes. Then suddenly, an older woman from the village grabbed her arm hard enough to stop her and whispered, "Stop calling him," Yvette said. "But that's my son." The old woman listened carefully, then said something Yvette never forgot. "Daniel's name only has 2 syllables, Daniel. But the voice in the forest has been saying it with 3, Daniel. And no child says their own name like that." The old woman turned off the flashlight, and both of them stood there listening. Then from somewhere deep in the trees, Daniel's voice called again, "Mama, come find me." And then the forest laughed. Not one child, several small voices laughing together somewhere beyond the trees. That was the moment Yvette understood, and she walked away. Daniel was found the next morning, curled up asleep in his own bed, his feet covered in dried mud, halfway to his knees. But he had no memory of leaving the house. He grew up, had children of his own, and never entered the forest at dusk again. Not once. The older Trinidadians still teach 2 rules about the Douen. Rule 1, do not call your children loudly outside at dusk. The Douen listen, and once they learn a child's name, they can imitate it perfectly. That is why many Caribbean grandmothers whistle for children instead of calling them directly. Rule 2. If you hear children laughing in the forest after dark, do not answer and do not follow the sound, even if the voice sounds familiar, especially if it sounds familiar. The Douen are not evil in the way other things are evil. They are lonely. That is what makes them dangerous. Some Trinidadians believe the missing children never truly disappear. They simply become part of the games deeper in the forest forever. So if you ever hear children laughing somewhere in the trees at dusk, go home, lock the door, and do not answer if the forest calls your name. That was another entry from the Caribbean Black Book. Subscribe for more Caribbean folklore horror, rooted in the stories whispered across the islands after dark. Some stories were never meant to be read.